Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Atlas and this is a gaming channel that I've decided to create after pressure from my girlfriend and families saying that I play too many video games. So I thought I would do a stream where I would play Crusader Kings II, one of my favourite games, on an interesting development, shall we say. So I'm going to try and take a mod called the Arthurian Legacy to create a resurgence of Arthurian culture and kingship on this game, alongside another mod called Island Fix, which makes islands essentially islands. So some crossings that you had from the Isle of Man to Scotland, or Ireland to Scotland, or Ireland to Wales does not exist anymore. And the last one is a bloodline fix, which should have any little bugs with the bloodlines that are in the game. So I have all the mods readily available for Crusader Kings just before they bring out Crusader Kings III, which I'm anticipating. So as we see here, I'm going to set up a custom game setup right at the beginning of the game. So the early Middle Ages of 769 AD. And as I said, I'm going to start from the Isle of Man with my custom Briton, which is a culture pack of the Celtics through this DLC. Briton, not Breton, which is supposedly the Arthurian line. So we'll put that in. We're going to call him... We're going to have his last name is Arturius, is Latin for the name Arthur, supposedly. So I'm going to say this is the House of Arthur, as in Arthur Pendragon, the mythical king of Britain. So we'll make sure he's married as well, so we can have some children quickly, and we'll put his culture pack as a Briton. And then with a random name, let's just go with William. Now we want to create a nice logo. So we go with the colours of Britain, that I think should be blue, red, and then white. See how it enables all of them. Oops. So we want white, and then we want a nice background representing all three. Let's go with this one, and then I like to go with the mythical unicorn as the emblem. Considering we're trying to bring back the mythical line of King Arthur, let's go with the unicorn mythical animal, which, interestingly enough, is actually an emblem of Scotland. One of the only countries that has a mythical dragon as part of animal a part of its emblem. So we've got that. We have our line set up. Let's dive into the game. I would do an Iron Man, but I had one try of doing this before. I had an Iron Man and suddenly I couldn't go back into it. So hopefully this time around we can, but we'll try not to cheat as much. But we'll start off the first fix that I will cheat, which is making the Isle of Man culture Britain. So as you see, this is a cheat where you can claim the event of the Isle of Man to be Britain instead of Welsh. So we click back on the Isle of Man, we have the culture Britain. So let's go in. So let's have a look at our guy. So he's called William of Man, High Chief, as we are a tribal kingdom so far. We have our wife, Kievi, or something like that. It's in Welsh. I am terrible when it comes to language, so I do apologise for my complete mispronunciation. So we want him to have his chosen ambition. Now, ambition tends to be what they strive to do for as like a goal. So in this case, we want a groom and heir. So this will enable him to have more fertility, so he should be able to, have sex more and produce children. As you see here, adds 20%, and you could also have an event where you introduce your heir to the realm. And then the next one I want to have is we want family. Helps with diplomacy, adds more health, and again, an extra 25% for fertility, so I can produce more children. Now next, I would like to try and do is invite a nobleman, so he should be able to have a high stewardship, as well as a peasant debutant. And this will help either with diplomacy, but most, for me, I want this as a court tutor, so my children will have their culture as Briton instead of Welsh, as previously this was. So we go on to my council. So we have a chancellor, so we want high diplomacy, which would be Edulf, who's a commander of man, but we want him to do diplomatic, we want him to do statecraft, so he's able to talk to everyone and improve relationships, which we kind of want to do. Then we want a guy high with military. They're awful, so what we can do is promote a commander. So what we do is we have this commander, he's still terribly bad, that's not good, but we don't have enough prestige to go with it, so he'll have to do with his 11 martial ability. Now with Steward, we've just hired a new guy, so he could be our steward. We have a spy master who, in a sense, can do still technology, which will boost our kingdom. With our steward, we want him to build a legend, to build that prestige for us. And a court chaplain for that petty. So improve relations with the Pope, in a sense. If you're more petty, more Christian nations will. And we want to set our crown focus to the Isle of Man, because that's where we want to focus all our stuff on. And then we need Disney regions. So these are other positions you can give to people, and that will boost their opinion of you because you're putting them in favourable positions. So we'll go from that. Next we want to do is look at our laws. So in this case we can do change how much tax or soldiers we get from our vassals, the actual laws. So centralization makes it more centralized, so you control more of the state rather than letting your barons do what they want. Tribal organization is how organized your tribe is, I guess. I'm not any more I can describe that way. Status of women, and then revoke titles. So we'll just leave that there for the moment. And then we, as a tribal kingdom, we can add concubines. So these are extra women that we can have that could help us produce and make us have more babies, because ultimately this game is about producing heirs and making sure your dynasty lasts till the end game, which is 1400. Well, 1443, but in a sense you're playing about 700 years. And if our king dies, our main guy William, if he dies, the game ends, and it would be a very, very short stream, which is not going to be fun at all. So we're setting up our bit so far. It looks good, and we can see the rest of Europe. You can see that you've got the two Frankias of the Carling dynasty. So this is from the first Carl. As you can see here, he has a unique bloodline where he defeated the Muslims at Tours, which is just about here, which supposedly, according to historians, is saved Christianity as a whole. And then we've got the Umayyad dynasty over here, which is a caliphate. And then you've got the Lombards, the Byzantians, which is the remnants of the Eastern Roman Empire. Interesting, I find in this game is they're considered their culture is Greek, but the Byzantines throughout their history knew they saw themselves as Roman. They didn't see themselves as Greek till actually much later when the Byzantines fell. So it's quite an interesting take there. We could put it on here and it shows you the big realms. You've got the Abbasid Caliphate, which is over here, and you've got Tibet, India. But we're mostly going to focus on Europe because that's where we are, where we want to start our thing from. So we have the Isle of Man. So let's crack into the game. I'm going to put it on free speed, so then we can go through quite quickly. As I said, it's a long time period you're going, and the way Paradox works is it's real-time strategy. So you're playing through the days, you're playing through the years. It's not turn-based match you see on Civilization and Total War. And unfortunately, we're at a small kingdom because we want to start small and build out big. it's going to take a while. So every so often you'll get these like events happening. So in this case, a large merchant has just come on a caravan, which is interesting. Their leader, massive girth, strange accents. Shall we let them in? Or should we just let these peddlers go away? I normally let them in because you get interesting stories come as they hear. Tell us more about the mythical realm of Hindustan. As a point in case, Hindustan is over here in India, so it's a long way away. They've travelled all the way to the Isle of Briton, then to the Isle of Man. So tell us more about this land. Oh, very kind gift. So this courtier, this Greek man, is now a eunuch, and he's now joined my court. Eunuchs are quite useful because they help with positions, but unfortunately because I'm a tribal, not feudal yet, we can't utilise them. Ooh, what's good is my wife is now pregnant, which is very handy indeed. So she's now pregnant, so hopefully we can produce a male heir, which is... Oh, and the concubine, Brunba, is now pregnant, which is even better. So let's just crack on. So unfortunately it's just slow pacing now because we want to start building up, and once we have more characters to play with, it gets a lot more interesting. So pregnancy has made my wife very more talkative, cheerful and useful. That's really good. But we want her to be healthy. We don't want her to survive. We don't want her to die. So even though she loses 2 stewardship, but we're only one land and we control it. So these perks don't necessarily are a bad thing. So we're just going. So what we can do is we can speed up to the full speed. So now we with our Stuart, he's building up a legend. People around us are like, oh, this guy's interesting. We want to fight for him. So we can get a small army in this case. So I'll move, but we're not at war, so it's not very useful for us. So it's best to disband it. Our wife is during pregnancy, so let's buy her something nice, and then it should help with her enjoying our company. Oh, there we go. We have a child heir. Let's just go with a random name, Melisandre, or however you say it, Melisandre. Okay. So we've got now. So what we can do. So she's sick. So hopefully our court physician will save. Oh, and there we go. Horonos Otarius. There we go. Our male heir, more important one, I would say. Sounds really bad, but male heirs tend to be more liked by your vassals rather than your female heir. So we have 2. So what we'll do is now I pause it. So we have 2 children. Hopefully she'll be fine, but we want her to marry off. We want to keep our bloodline line. So we could do matrilineal marriage. So we can marry into a household, build up some prestige in that. So what we want ultimately is one with like famous bloodlines. So you can have the Carolingian, but he's a bit too old. So I think we'll go with over here for Wessex. So not only do we get, if he accepts, whatever I feared to give you. What's she done? Oh, she's choked on Holy Communion. That's not good. Well, we like our wife, so let's just say we forgive her. And our supposedly court physician is not doing a very good job. Hopefully our child does not die. Oh, no. She was a bastard. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So she's a bastard, but we will legitimize her because she didn't get through Holy Communion. So she's now legitimized, and now we have... Hopefully we can have just a random child of this household, so we cannot form an alliance through marriage. That's a little bit annoying. It's not very good, but hey ho, let's just crack on. So we've got to crack on with all of this. So as I said, it's a slow development, but we'll get there. We'll get there slowly but surely. Oh, my wife is now pregnant again. That's fantastic news. More children, more marriages. So we'll pause the game slightly, and then we'll get a marriage for our young boy here. Let's go to the Anglo-Saxon house of Iceni of Mercia. At the moment, they have a homogeny over England, which is useful. We can form an alliance if they accept, which they do, which is great news, because what we want to do slowly is gain more territory. So we can spend some money and have some maids dispatched for our wife, who's a bit lonely, I believe. Oh no, it's just to keep her calm and provide her what she needs. So let's do that. We want our wife to be happy. And now we want to be zealous as well. Everything for God. So I've paused the game slightly because now I want to build up something a bit more. So I want to borrow some money from the Jewish merchants, because then we have 300 gold. Can be useful. I want to get a smith and create some jewelry in a sense that will help with prestige and opinion. And I can also spend some money on a hill fort, which should improve the defense of my kingdom. Fortunately, none of our technology is boosting. Our spy master is terrible at stealing technology for Northumbria, so just have to wait and see about that. Oh, and we have another male, Neptunius. Interesting with the Briton names, it comes up with Welsh, Pictish, and then very Romanesque names, so quite interesting. So we want another marriage for him, so let's go with someone nearby, because then we can have an alliance with them as we slowly take over Britain, which is ultimately what we want. So let's go with Kent, with a girl with got a hair lip, which is not ideal. Oh, no, let's go for Essex, and we can go for a strong child. Win Essex here. So it's another small kingdom. Let's form an alliance. And they accept. Fantastic. Slowly and surely we're getting there. Now we want some fine jewelry. It's going to cost us 50 gold. That's fine. Oh, our workman, our craftsman is now talking with my concubine. Well, what do I go for? If I piss him off, he's more likely to go away. The worst it goes, he could just go. So I'm just going to let it go and let's slide for prestige, because I want my jewelry. It'll be really good. Because as we go, as I've paused the game and I'll show you, we go to our artifacts here, our treasury. We've got the Crown of Lilies, gives us a little bit of prestige. Noble Scepter, a bit more prestige. And so that monthly prestige is going up 2.9 every month, which is ultimately what we want. Because as a tribal, one of the nice things as a tribal kingdom is we can get a professional army or standing army called retinue, and we spend literally prestige on it. Does not cost us gold, doesn't cost us gold or anything, which you would think would be ideal, bringing in water for the men and whatnot. But no, you don't need it, which is ultimately what we kind of want to do, is build up our kingdom, build up our retinue, and then slowly just conquer some more people. So, so our Isle of Man has been built up. Oh, we have another son, that's fantastic. So we want to build a market village, because then we get some more prestige. Oh, I can now imprison my concubine because she wants to kill me. Oh, that's not good. So what we'll do is we're on prisoner, which she is, and what should we do to her? She already produced 2 of our sons. Let's make her go become a nun. Then she can't kill us, and doesn't matter. And she's still our concubine, apparently. Interesting enough. But we have a second son. Fantastic. Let's get another marriage alliance. Ooh, let's go with the Welsh. And we have a marriage alliance with the Welsh, which is just from the petty kingdom of Powys, which is just here. So now we've got some nice marriage alliances. Now, I believe the next stage, what we can do is start to fabricate a claim. This is one of the ways you could start gaining it. Unfortunately, because we're an island and we're now cut off, we have no neighbours, so we can't do a border dispute. We have to do fabricated claims. So we have to hope our Chancellor does a good enough job to fabricate a claim that we should own this land, which is the County of Runs, which is Galloway in Scotland. So we can start to build up our small little kingdom, which is ultimately what we want to do. Oh, our other concubine is pregnant. Fantastic. We also got some technology. I normally go legalism straight away, because then with legalism you can go to the realm and you can revoke titles, which is really helpful when you've got an annoying lord who's just rebelled against you. As you can see on the top bit of the screen, you see pick land is having a civil war. So say for instance the king of Pickland won, he can imprison, he would ultimately imprison his rebellious lord, and then he could take his land if he's got this law. But I don't know if they have or not, because we can't tell. Well, we can, but we're not going to cheat in this game. We've done it once, and that's enough for this game. So now we've done that, we also have our court chaplain has done a very good job of raising up troops for us, but we don't need the troops. However, I'm just going to stop it today here, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.